Hi, this is Steve Wiedemann. In this video, we're going to talk about page level SEO. There's two separate page types that we're going to talk about in two different videos. One relates to content marketing and topical content that you would use for viral sharing and for hopefully producing something that other people would want to look for, research, and reference as authoritative content. The other is keyword selling content. That is those keywords that are performing really well for you on AdWords, but don't place well in a natural search result, would be a search term that you would want to go after. After you've ran a few months of AdWords, you've determined that there are 20 or 30 keywords that perform really well, but you don't rank well in the search results for those keywords naturally. So we're going to talk about those pages. Those are usually service driven, where someone's looking specifically for services, or they're product driven, where someone's looking for a specific product type, or a product with a specific product attribute. So the first video, we're going to talk about selling pages. And Neil Patel at QuickSprout he's probably created what I believe is the best example of what should be included visually so that the users get the best possible experience. So a lot of what we'll talk about in this video is related to things that help the user find what they're looking for quickly and help the search engines match the keyword query to something that we have on the page. So let's start with just a quick view of this outline, and then we'll go into some of the details. The first thing you see at the top are breadcrumbs. And yeah, it's great for the users to be able to reverse navigate back to the home page or to a category. If they land on a deep page from a Google result, they want to be able to navigate the website. It also helps Google determine what your site architecture looks like. So having breadcrumbs is a great way to provide a good experience. On this, we might use some structured data like schema.org breadcrumbs, right? Schema.org breadcrumbs. You can just Google it and find a lot of examples of it. So here, let's just grab Stack Overflow's got a good example. So here's an example of somebody who's posted up how to get your breadcrumb schema in here. And the source itself doesn't have a lot of information, unfortunately. But you can see that breadcrumb is definitely something that you can use and add to your website. Let's see if I can do this one. Maybe there's breadcrumb on here. Find breadcrumb. Who has the best one is Bing. Here we go. So Bing.com gives you an example of where breadcrumbs might come into play. So this is a single breadcrumb trail. This one, here's the item scope, and it kind of tells you a little bit more about how the search engines will use that information and how they'll display them in search results. Very important. Next one is an eye-catching headline, so that the user who's performing a search sees immediately that this page is going to answer their query. They don't have to scroll through a bunch of images or diagrams or videos or whatever. They can actually see at the top, I was looking for a personal injury attorney, and it says personal injury attorney. Oh, great, I found what I was looking for. A short list of reasons why you'd want to use the service. Little checkbox is kind of neat. A video that gives the person a little bit more of a reason to stay on the page longer, and hopefully it gives a little more authenticity to your brand and might even help your conversion rate. And then a strong call to action. If the user has to look around to find out what to do or how to use your service, then you failed. And I believe it was Aaron Irizarry, amazing usability expert, who said that if the user has to use your top navigation to find what you're looking for, then you failed. And I think Tim Ash has even said that before too. Tim Ash is also a usability god. So down here you can see a testimonial area. So this is a trust signal for the user. Somebody says that they use them and they feel happy with them. So there's a trust factor in there. And there's even more trust factors down here with some logos. If you're on TV, put the TV logo. If you're featured in a magazine, put the magazine logo. If your site uses security to protect their privacy, put those logos. Any logos that you can put that would tell the user that you're a big deal, to provide some credentials, will help improve conversion rate and reduce the possibility of them going back to Google and choosing someone else, which could hurt this page's ranking over time. And then maybe some other information to provide the user with a more educated decision, a more options to help them make a more educated decision. So great example of what would be on the page. Everything else would fall below the fold, this fold line here. So additional keyword themes, additional reading of things that we would use to persuade the user to want to use us, using words that best relate to them. So let's start with subheadings. I'm going to go ahead and open up an incognito window, and we're going to look at a few things. The first one is if you perform a search for cell broken iPad. And I don't know if this will be here when you do the search, but it's there today when I'm doing the example. You see that eCycle Best. They've thought about people searching for broken iPads, and they've created a page on their website, based on how their site's organized, for sell broken iPad. Sell your broken iPad to eCycle Best. That's what they do. And they're a good result because they actually provide a service for people searching for a broken iPad. And if you scroll down, looking at subheadings here, you can see that they've thought about the keyword somebody's looking for, sell broken iPad. They've thought about words like recycle and get cash for and trade in and other ways that people might search. They probably did a little bit of keyword research using the Google Keyword Planner. Google Keyword Planner. It's a free tool that Google offers AdWords users, and really anyone, but people who have AdWords accounts can use this tool within their own interface, or you could just Google Keyword Planner. And as long as you have a Google account, you should be able to get right in to the tool. So for them, they put in sell broken iPad. They performed a search to get ideas, and Google gave them some specific ideas that relate to iPad. And they said, you know what, it has to include iPad. And so they'll refresh their search, and now Google suggestions will only fall under iPad. And what they noticed was recycle, trade in, sell your, and a lot of other semantic variations. So they took those top themes, the ones that have the most search volume, like recycle, trade in, etc., and they made them into subheadings. You don't need very many, but the subheadings are emphasized because they're in HTML world, there's 1 through 6 for headings, and they made 1 their most important theme, sell broken iPad, and then they made the 2s, recycle, get cash, and trade in. So you want to do the same thing. After you've done your keyword research, you'll have a list of 20 or 30 keywords that relate to that main topic that you're trying to rank for. You take those that have the highest search volume, maybe the top 2 or 3, and you make them into subheadings. And if you've done that, then you've given emphasis to related search terms, and it will support your goal to ultimately rank for sell broken iPad or whatever your keyword happens to be. Next one, we're going to talk about trust logos and testimonials. I mentioned Neil Patel's Quick Sprout example. You're welcome to go back to it, and I'll try to put a link in the description for you as well. But let's take a look at the page we were just on and see if they were using any of those trust signals from Neil Patel's example. Let's close that. Here's his example. Here's the logos. Let's see if this brand did that. Looking over here on the right, as featured on Yahoo, Ecologist, Verizon, MarketWatch, Reuters, Boston.com. So absolutely. So they passed the trust, the logo, using trust logo experience. So that's great. Let's look at another criteria now. So from an SEO standpoint, we want to make sure that we're not over-optimizing. And the goal here is going to be looking at focus keyword theme. Not spamming, but just making sure that we're using a focus keyword theme. So I'm going to use any keyword density tool. It's kind of grassroots SEO, but again, this is just to make sure we're not going crazy. Keyword density tool. There's 2. Aaron Wall has a good one on SEO Book, and then there's also a good one by SEO Centro. They have a good one as well. So you can goof around with any of these tools just to get a feel for what the keyword density might be on a page. We want broken iPad as our keyword. Let's grab the URL. Sell broken iPad, paste, and let's go ahead, since there's no numbers in this one, we'll leave it as no under numeric keywords. Put in the captcha code, submit, and let's see what the main keyword theme of this page might be according to Google. So on this page, you can see broken iPad is down here, and it's mentioned 15 times. So there's an opportunity, I believe, for eCycle Best to increase the relevancy of this keyword by reducing, not necessarily adding more instances of broken iPad, but by reducing the instances of non-related keywords. Like ATT iPad and iPad Air are mentioned 20 times in that content. Huge opportunity to reduce the keyword density on those pages and to help move broken iPad up. And sell was the most important keyword theme for this page, sell broken iPad. And you can see that one's not in the 3-word, sell broken iPad. It's way down here, and it was only mentioned 3 times, which is okay if the rest of the words that were above here in the 3-word were 2 or less. But ideally, looking at the frequency of these other search terms, the brand might want to mention sell broken iPad maybe 1 or 2 more times on this page to give it more emphasis. And this iPad 4th generation definitely needs to go away. It's 16 instances of that phrase. So Google may think that this page is about iPad 4th generation. Or worse, if these are keywords that are part of their global theme, it'll make every page look like it's centered around iPad 4th generation. Same thing on the 1 keyword. Likely you want to see broken as the first and iPad as the second most used search term. Just to kind of give emphasis to what we want to rank for. Not going crazy. We don't want to see 10% or just some outrageous amount of keyword density. We just want to make sure that emphasis is given more toward the focus keyword than any other keyword on the web page. So that is keyword density and being strongest with the focus keyword. In this case, it was the sell. So sell broken iPad. That's what we want to see at the top. So that is keyword density. Let's look at the next attribute of what we could do to optimize a specific web page. How about using relevant images? So let's go to the page here and let's look at what images are being used. So here's an image of a broken iPad, which should basically relate to the user, hopefully. And let's go ahead and open this image in a new tab and see what it's named. This image is broken.jpg. Well, there's probably a lot of images out there that are broken.jpg, but none that are very descriptive toward this product. So for me, I would probably be more descriptive. Not too crazy, not spammy, but probably something like broken iPad, right? And since there's money in the picture, sure, you could put sell broken iPad, and since there's money, let's just put for money, right, or cash. So there's cash, and there's a broken iPad. So there's a way to get a keyword into your image label, and if the image opens up something else, if this were a link, and I could click it and it opened up a bigger view of the picture, then you can even put an actual title attribute on the link and be very descriptive. When you click this, you'll see a larger image of this picture. Let's see if this picture has an alt attribute on it to describe to people who are visually impaired what this image does. And it says cash for broken iPad. Well, great. Spelling is off a little bit here, over the grammar, because it's using lowercase on something that probably should be title case. But either way, it still says cash, and it says broken iPad, which define what this image is. And it's not shoving keywords in there, having some crazy amount of keywords in the alt tag. It's descriptive, short, and definitely describes the image. So that would be if you were auditing this page to see if this had a relevant image. I would say on a scale from 1 to 3, it's a 2, because it needs improvement in the way this image is named. But it has a great alt attribute, and it visually matches what the person is looking for. Next thing we're going to talk about is video, and how video can enhance an individual landing page. So let's do a search for iPad Air cases. And in this case, you're probably going to find Belkin somewhere in the first page. So here's Belkin, and they've got a page of content on their website that best represents the keyword the user is searching for. And it's got this very cool picture. It's actually a video thumbnail that describes the picture. So let's go ahead and go into this page. And somewhere on this page, hopefully, you'll see the video. And in most cases where we're using video to enhance the web page, we may use some more structured data. We talked about breadcrumbs a minute ago. In this case, we might use something else, like schema.org/video object. And that is what you would do to optimize a specific web page to rank better in search.